A lot of people are under the mistaken assumption that Medicare covers some or part or most of a nursing home stay. Not true. Now, there are certain situations, very specific, where Medicare will pay for some of your nursing home stay. Now, you have to know that the nursing homes have different levels of care. The highest level of care, meaning you have a doctor or a nurse on call 24 hours a day, that's called skilled nursing. But you also have down here custodial care, where they don't do that. So we're talking about skilled nursing, the highest level of nursing care. And I want Medicare to pay the most that it will pay. And the most that it will pay is 20 days. Okay, 20 days sounds good if I break my hip and I need to go to the hospital for rehab. 3 weeks sounds reasonable, right? So Medicare can pay up to 20 days, but only if I was hospitalized overnight and admitted to the hospital, and I stayed there for 3 overnight stays. And if you break your hip, or you know someone that breaks their hip, that's not a hard bar to meet. But it is a lot harder than it looks, because hospitals don't admit you. You're like, what? Hospitals do not have to admit you. What are you saying? Medicare mama, what are you saying? I can be in a hospital, I can be in a gown, I can have the bracelet, everything looks like I've been admitted to the hospital, but I'm not. I'm under observation status, meaning I'm in there, they're doing everything, but I'm not technically, legally admitted as an inpatient. Why would they do that? So when I was pregnant with my last daughter, I went in, I was having contractions, and they put me under observation, because a lot of times with pregnancy, it doesn't work out. You start off in labor and then it stops and they send you back home, which is what they did with my last daughter. And I'll remember it forever, because it was my birthday, January 16th, 2003, and Indiana was playing Purdue basketball in the old Oak and Bucket game, and we were at the hospital watching on TV. Okay, more than you wanted to know. So I was under observation, I wasn't admitted, they send me home. Now doctors manipulate this under observation status, and they'll put anybody under observation. They have the complete authority to do whatever they want. So they can say, yeah, you had a heart attack, you've been in here for extensive surgery, you had four stents and a valve replacement, you had a infection, we've had you in ICU, you've been in here for 3 weeks, but they never admitted you. They never admitted you. So when you get discharged to a nursing home, you think, my Medicare Supplement Plan G will pay the first 20 days, and it will pay exactly zero, because you weren't admitted to a hospital for 3 overnights. You're like, I was there for 3 weeks. You're right. They gave you a notice at some point that says that you were under observation. Did you read it? Could you understand it if you did read it? Who knows? But they had to, by law, give it to you. That is new. They didn't used to have to do that. That started in about 2015, that they have to at least give you something. But if they give you the letter, and if you watch my video and you're like, oh, this is my letter telling me that I'm not admitted, I, as an informed, savvy retiree, will demand that I be admitted. Well, you can't. There's nothing you can do to make them admit you. You have no authority to be admitted. It's a billing strategy on the hospital's part that generally doesn't hurt you, but it can if you are somebody on Medicare trying to get your Medicare supplement to pay for the first 20 days. How much is 20 days? It's a lot of money, right? It's money. The average per day cost is about $300 to $500 per day, depending on where you are in the country. So $300 to $500 a day for 20 days is a lot of money, where if you would have been admitted, then your Medicare supplement would have paid the first 20 days. Any Medicare supplement, any company, that's the federal rule. The supplement can't pay its 20 days unless Medicare pays, and Medicare won't pay, original Medicare won't pay unless you have the 3 overnight stays. So I have people that say, my dad's being held in the hospital, he's under observation, I watched your video, and they won't admit him. So we're going to discharge him from this hospital, and we're going to take him across the county to another hospital. You can't make them admit him either. This is something you have no control over. The only control you have is me explaining it to you. And then you're like, well, if I might not necessarily get those first 20 days covered, should I potentially buy some other insurance? And the answer is yes. We can talk to you about other types of insurance if you do go into a nursing home for a little bit that you might want to buy anyway, regardless of this. So you spend 3 overnights in the hospital. You do meet the criteria. They do discharge you to a skilled nursing facility, the nursing home, the highest level of care. And you do have the first 20 days paid for. Beautiful. What happens on day 21? So your Medicare Supplement Plan G will pay for days 21 through 100. And it's going to save you about $17,000, $18,000 right now, depending on where you are, because the supplement will pay for those days 21 through 100. Now, that's still a little bit iffy, because under the Medicare rules, the supplement can only pay if you continue to improve. So say, for example, your mom had a stroke, and she improved for the first couple days, but then she's not improving. She's not getting better. And the doctor said she might never improve, or it might be very small improvements over a very long period. Medicare rules are very specific that if you fail to improve, they don't have to pay. So the doctors typically work with you on that. Doctors know your insurance. They know if you have a Medicare supplement insurance, exactly how much it pays. They know if you have Medicare Advantage, which typically pays less and is stricter with the rules. So let's say I do continue to improve. I had a hip surgery and it's getting better, and I need the full 100 days because it's been a major recovery here. What happens at day 101? It's a cliff. Now you have to pay the full room and board, which, as I said, depending on where you are in the country, is between $300 and about $500 per day. So that is where, if you don't have other types of insurance, and that's where long-term care insurance would come in, which I don't like it. Maybe you have some that you bought a long time ago. That's where it would come in. Most people don't have it, they can't afford it, and it's not something that I really recommend to people anymore. I used to recommend it highly probably 20 years ago, but not anymore. So most people at that point, at the 100 days, they're trying to get out of there because they are cash pay for every day that they remain in the nursing home. Even though it's like a hip, it's a knee, something, they know it's not going to be very long, but it's still going to be very expensive starting at the 101-day cliff. So if you have Medicare Advantage, you need to understand that they typically don't have the 3-day rule. And so that's one instance where they are more progressive than traditional Medicare, but they all have their own rules. So look at your exact plan, because every Medicare Advantage plan can have very different rules, co-pays, all that. There is an exception for some people on a Medicare supplement. It's rare, but it's for people that are in an accountable care organization. The government, Medicare, wants everybody in an accountable care organization by 2030. So not that far away. And certain accountable care organizations waive the 3-night stay. So you could get lucky, and this is much more likely to happen to you if you're out west. It seems like most of this stuff starts in California and then kind of seeps the rest of the way. If you want to learn why under observation is even a thing, stay with me and I will go into this very deep rabbit hole. When they came out with the Affordable Care Act, the Obama administration said, we got to penalize these hospitals that treat people, discharge them, and they come right back in, they're readmitted. Because this is the hospital's fault, because they didn't do a good job when they discharged patients, teaching them in their discharge instructions what they needed to do for their care, how to take their medicine, how to eat. I don't know why they're mad at the hospitals. But they looked at hospitals and they said, if you have a high readmission rate, which means like within 30 days, that they get a fine. And hospitals get millions of dollars of fines every year because of their readmission. Now, let's say I'm the hospital and I have somebody who comes in, he's obese, he's single, he's an alcoholic, intravenous drug user, lots of problems. And we treat him for whatever, his hip. When we discharge him, do we have any control? Is there anybody at home to feed the guy? The guy's single. He might not have heat, right? He might not have access to regular meals or care for people to help him with his follow-up care. So if he comes back to the hospital in 30 days, the hospital gets fined. So the hospital said, we had no control over this. This is not fair. So they said, the lawyers told us if we don't admit him, if we just kept him under observation, then if he is discharged and he doesn't take care of himself, he doesn't, tend to his wounds, take his medicine, do the follow-up care, and comes back, he's not readmitted, which would cause a penalty, because he was never admitted. He is just under observation. So this is how the hospitals try to skirt this Obama-era law by not admitting people. And that's how retirees on Medicare get stuck when they read their Medicare supplement policy and they thought it would pay the first 20 days of a nursing home stay, and then they found out that it doesn't. It's because the hospitals are trying to play loosey-goosey with the rules. And high schools do this. High schools say, we have a graduation rate of 99.9%. Like, how's that possible? Because the high school made a new high school, they all did this all over the country, for the kids that are at risk of not graduating. They threw them into another school so they could keep their graduation rate up and get the federal dollars and everything that comes with it. So everybody's playing in the gray here. It impacts you and your family members when you're put under observation status. The key takeaway is you don't have any control over it. You can't demand to be admitted. You can just understand that it's a risk. If you learned something today, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me. I know it was painful. Follow me if you want to learn more horribly complex and frustrating things about Medicare in the future. Follow my channel, share it with your friends. If you have questions, ask me below. Tune in again. I'll be right back telling you more next week. If you like this video, you might really like this video. Check it out. And we'd appreciate if you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a great video. We put out one every week. Check in the description below this video for a link to our cheat sheet on Social Security and Medicare. And you can also give us a comment if you have a specific question. Always feel free to call us or email us at the Medicare Family.